Okay, I'll be right back. All right. All of that abrasive work we were doing, it's always a good idea. Clean your bench surface, clean the work surface, especially when you have some clean stuff, some clean parts coming. Hey Ralphie. Hey Wendigo. Hey Pod Blake. Sofa. Manga. Excuse me, manga. Alright. Let's put the hammer away. Don't need these watches getting scared just yet. Let's put that away. Let's put that away. Let's bring that out. Bring that out. And this one. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Let's toss those. Put that back. Get some new cots. And we'll get going. Yeah, that camera is really washed out. Needs to look more like that one. Should do it automatically, but I think it's because there's real dark areas and then real bright areas and it doesn't know what to do. So we will help it out. Normally I take down the brightness and I take down the contrast. Looks a little better. White balance. Oof. Let's bring it down a little more. Wow, those things are slow. Slow camera. Okay. Now I've seen you clean. You got the job when you can start? sometimes like after a disassembly, this area is just saturated with grease and oil and all kinds of schmutz. Those are frames. 30 drop frames. No big deal. Actually, a pretty big friggin' deal. Let's work on the boom too, while we're dialing things in. Okay. That was a little more dramatic. It's too big of a step. I need half a step there. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Away we go. I'm ready. You ready? Hey Cakes, at least not 30 drop hearts. That'd be a lot of subs. Oh no. Somebody remembers that I gift out subs when I drop over 10. Oh no. That means I gotta keep up with it. Alright. Ooh, these are looking sparkly. I kind of want to dial in this bench cam. Maybe we'll work on that tomorrow. I think tomorrow we'll have a nice long stream. Tomorrow's the 1st, right? Yeah, boy. That's the anniversary of the stream. Normally we would be giving away a watch, but I'm a little broke. So not only do I owe one from last year, but also the year before, I think. And now this year? Next year's anniversary is going to be a big giveaway. Ooh, look how shiny that is. Oh, I forgot to scrub that area, but it looks like the cleaner took care of it. Let me get a look at it under the loupe. While I'm at it, I'll lubricate these areas. I gotta take it apart to look at the center wheel anyways. First now for me here in the UK. Well, full-time career to my wife, so I'm always cleaning the house. Used to be a cleaner in the office. Yeah, it's something that some watchmakers overlook. And we see it. We don't see their places, but we see the watch when it gets here, and when they're full of fibers, when they're full of dirt and dust that was pretty evident didn't get in through the crown. It certainly goes a long way to be aware of what's getting into the watch while it's open. All right, how's our focus? This thing's lagging. I don't know why. A little remote. Hey Hoosier, forgot to tell you before I passed out last night. Yesterday's stream was sick, man. Oh, nice. Great combo on all those watch brands. That was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed that. And then also talking about Brick Watch Company. What a joke. Oh yeah, this one's in great shape. Yeah, it's in real good shape. One year, 2 years, wow. Yeah, there was 3 giveaway years, and then 2, now 3. I think it was 2. Yeah, now 3 of them have lapsed, so I have to keep the giveaways going. Carer, not courier. Full-time carer to your wife. What a beautiful thing. Cakes, the Shield says ESA. Didn't Omega license the 300 hertz from Bulova? Well, I think ESA licensed theirs from Bulova. So it kind of like, you know, kind of passed hands like that. Hoosier pretty new to the watch world. What's the connection between car guys and timepieces? I think it's just machines in general. Tools and machines. It's kind of universal like that. Yeah, look at our center wheel here. Specifically the pivots. I don't know if you guys remember from yesterday seeing the one on that website where this looked like an hourglass. The pivot. Is it the mechanical aspect? Yeah, I think so. But, you know, there again, it's not universal. I know a lot of watch guys that could care less about cars and a lot of car guys that could care less about watches. Ralphie hanging by a thread, right? Yeah, yeah. The pivot, yeah. Hoosier, longtime car enthusiast, learning to appreciate watches engineering. Yeah, I think that's it. It's really just an appreciation of the engineering and the design and shoot, a lot of times the marketing overlaps. Like you'll find automotive advertisers bumping shoulders with watch advertisers. A lot of times you'll see at motorsporting events or, you know, extreme sports, you're going to see a lot of watch advertisers. Okay. You know what's really odd? There's some etchings in the main plate here. Right around here and right around here. I don't get it. I don't get it. Cindy, or is it sign die? Beautiful copper plate. It's plated, but the base metal is actually brass. But Omega would do this copper style of plating. See those etchings right there? And then also right there. I don't get it. Is this thing working anymore? Oh, the whole camera's kind of lagging. Might need to turn it off and turn it back on. let me get them to turn the TV down a bit. Okay. Case music's fire. Sign, monitor colors off. Well, I mean, it certainly looks coppery. But if you were to compare it to something that's much more brass-like, you can really see the difference, right? No, I'm not in love with that. Let's just go up a little bit. Not that much. Okay. Ralphie MM made his marks. This is the MM watch, isn't it? No, that was the Zodiac. Yeah, no, that was the Zodiac. Luckily, MM didn't get to this one. 1085, 1098. No, honestly, it kind of seems like whoever got into this didn't do a bad job, which is really wonderful to see. All right, let's get some parts out and we'll get this back together. Actually, before we do, let's lubricate the bridges and index wheel. Well, my solution was pretty darn clean. Normally I would see a whole lot more metal particulate on these magnets. Not too bad though. Okay, so I think someone from chat a while ago said it was beryllium copper bronze plating. Yeah, I think that's right. And also, the index wheel itself is made of beryllium copper. Oh, that plucked the index wheel. Started running. Makes for a beautiful color for sure. So many jewels, yeah. So the ones in watches are all synthetic, and that's the way you would want them. Because natural stones a lot of times have inclusions, little bits of dust and dirt and carbon in there that don't really help for consistency. And synthetics have been around since, I want to say the turn of the century. Actually, before the 1900s, I believe. Late 1800s, something like that. There's our index wheel. So this wheel I can grab like this, no problem. That one, the little guy, I can't. It's not because I physically can't, it's because the likelihood of me damaging that wheel is pretty significant. So the only way you can grab it is by the pivot. Hoosier, is it a soft metal? It's beryllium copper, but it's just so delicate. By grabbing it, it's going to affect the profile of the teeth. It has teeth. Yeah. Over 300 of them. Can you see them? Rip. No, it's right here. Poof! It's gone. Okay, that one we're gonna count. It's worth it to count that. So that's what we're looking at right there under the microscope. That's the index wheel zooming around right there.
Drop!
Yeah, that'll work. Still have their drop counter? I don't know what you're talking about. Fubar, I kind of wonder if beryllium copper still does the thing with neutron radiation. What thing? What thing does it normally do? Baby shark teeth? Hey, Droog. Oh God, singing the Baby Shark song. Oh no. Do you have kids, Ralphie? Hoosier, are mechanical watches hand assembled at the factory they're made in? Yeah, yeah. For better or for worse? I think I got it in there. Not quite. I have to move the fingers out of the way. Before I can get that wheel down. Oh, I see a pivot. Let's take a look. Yeah, there's a pivot in there. Bueno. Yeah, 3 wonderful kiddos. So you've probably heard that song a few times. Just a few, right? Hey, Petro. Wonder how much automation you could put into watch building. You need some special machines. Yeah, I think a lot of it can be automated. I do. I've said this before where certainly we have pretty high resolution robots that can take care of a lot of the assembly. But where I think they're always going to come up short is in diagnostics. You need creative thinking sometimes to be able to look at something and to assess what the issues are, how it could have happened, how to prevent it from happening again, how to fix it. All of that is very much going to be in the human domain, I think, for maybe the next 100 years. What do you guys think? Assuming we're still here. Okay, I'm just going to snug these screws down, and then I'm going to pluck the tuning fork. Then I should see that index wheel spin. Yep. Sure enough. So now I tighten them down. And now these two are prepped and waiting for parts. Okay, we'll need these screws. And then I think the other batch is just for the dial, so make sure that insulator came out. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I think I want to clean off this contact, clean off that contact. And that's it. Put them back together. Hoosier like an AMG engine? One man, one engine, more of an assembly line situation? It really depends on if it's a service center or not. Most likely, factory scenarios, you might have one person doing just assembly on automatic mechanisms, like maybe just the auto winding assembly. You might have one person doing just the assembly on the base movement, and then you might have one person doing calendars. But for ultra high-end watches, you typically do have just one person. You typically just have one person doing assembly. All right, let's take a look at something that we just haven't looked at in a while. I think I might be able to find it here. Quick pause from the music. I think we have to go. The original is actually hard to find. What the heck? To okay. I think I found it. Never fails to put a smile on my face. Fubar 100 years, I'd say next 10. I'm talking about diagnostics. Assembly is one thing. New parts, assembly, machines are already doing that. But when it comes to repair, that's a completely different animal. But if you think AI is going to be a thing in the next 10 years, then I can see where you're coming from. I want that tool. I want that tool. What a yoke. And that's polishing the bevel all the way around the edge. Takes a lot of time. And that's doing a surface finish so that all the grains are lined up in one direction. That's doing precise measurements, making sure it fits tolerance. Looks like a country. So all of this is probably being done by at least a dozen people, right? Might be a couple of dozen people, because you have your jeweler, you've got your fabricators, you've got your finishers, you've got engravers, you've got enamelers, etchers, platers. Did I say polishers? But once you have the case, all of the parts ready to be put into one, then you're most likely going to have just one person putting it together. It makes sense to do it like that. Here's dial paint. Engravers is something that really just it really blows my mind. Like skilled hand engravers to to be able to recreate the same thing over and over. Conceptually, it seems like it's doable, you know? Okay, here we go. Movement assembly. He's doing some extra finishing, broaching out reversers, or was that a governor? It might have been a governor. See, both eyes open. If you're squinting one eye, you're using a whole lot of muscles that you don't need to be using. No finger cots. -1. No, but if you notice, he's not touching the movement. 2 barrels, one for the chime, one for the time, is my guess. Oh, his finger touched it. -2. That's a striker for the chime. It's a bridge for the governor. Maybe? Yeah. So why is there a governor? There it is. There's a governor right there. It's to make sure that the speed of the chime is consistent. You wouldn't want it to be too fast or too slow. There's your balance assembly. He needs to tune his tweezers up a little, chat. Yeah, Paddock, forget this guy. I mean, clearly you're paying him too much. I think I might know somebody a little more suited for the job. Oh, that's beautiful. I just want to see that again. That's quite a sight. So imagine you're that guy that bevels that bridge, and then you got to bevel that spring, and then you got to bevel this yoke, and then you got to bevel. Oh, jeez. 1,300 parts? It's so ridiculous. It's pretty amazing, though, when you think about it. Get your moon phase. Cycling your moon phase. Is he touching the dial? Oh, he's touching that dial. Shameful. Very shameful. You know what? I take that back. Maybe Paddock has special finger plating, you know? Or maybe they make you take a medication that prevents your oils from secreting out of your fingers. God, that thing's a beast, huh? But man, you gotta feel like $5 million wearing that thing. So notice how it has the year in the middle there? It's a perpetual calendar, as well as master chime. So I got the grand sonnery, the petit sonnery, all the chimes. You want chimes? This says yes. 1366. Minute repeater, date repeater, alarm with time strike, 3 gongs. Boy, that box. Hang on. I need to see that box again. They just like, they went right past that box. Holy moly. Okay. Wonder what that box will go for on eBay. Not happening. It's not happening. Okay, I gotta go back. Oh man. Liver King got caught in 4K, I guess. Alright, still going. Is this it? Well, we're starting over. I didn't pay attention to see where we're at. Okay. Let me get caught up. Who's your man? I gotta get my money up. Hey Suleiman, was the guy that I showed at the start of the video involved at all in designing and building this watch? I don't even remember a guy at the beginning. I understand that, but with how AI is advancing into creative, artistic functions, it's difficult to say for certain. There can't be an AI able to do that. Yeah, true. It's true. So much CNC, but the engine turning is by hand. Yeah, you know, that's a good point, Icy. It might just be that it's cheaper for them because they already have the tooling set up. Maybe there's like some prestige in it. But also, what's unique about the engine turning is that, say for example, they had a limited run like this where they didn't want anybody to recreate it ever again. That's kind of the beauty of engine turning, is you come up with that specific die and it can't really be recreated, at least not identically. And that's what I mean by saying, like, there's an infinite amount of variations in a Rose engine. Yeah, that's better. So maybe there is some... I don't know if proprietary or exclusivity is the right word. Maybe they're like guaranteeing that. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. CFTA. So in history, I'm guessing that clocks started big and people made them smaller as time went on. Yeah, for the most part. I think the first clocks were multi-story buildings, powered by water. And I think the Chinese invented them, or at least pioneered them. Ralphie plus camera crew, editors. A guy working on a watch with a head covering. It's like a real clean room. Yeah, that's what I'm doing too, right? Suleiman, this is what they mean by watch porn? Yeah, exactly. So working with tiny parts, I've learned how to change which eye I'm focusing with. Yeah, that's a unique skill set, isn't it? Especially if you're right eye dominant or left eye dominant. I think I used to be right eye dominant. And over time now I've like gravitated towards being left eye dominant, and I think that this work probably had a lot to do with that. Because before I was really doing this work, I was big into competitive shooting, so I was a big right eye guy. But yeah, over time, you sort of learn how to control each one independently. What do I mean by that? Well, not just the focusing, but also, I guess, the muscles around it. Laconic bites, where are they beveling shit on the inside of the watch? Because it's Patek. Don't ask these questions. The answer is yeah, Patek. Yeah. Or Patek. I don't know, depending on where you're from. Patek. Patek. How do you guys pronounce it? But mainly they're doing it for the watchmaker. It's because they can, and if they can do it, they're going to do it. And it's something that you would expect out of a multi-million-dollar watch. Think about it. With wood, I know sometimes the cutter is like a router and it can bevel as it cuts. Same reason they're polishing it and doing derivative machining. Yeah. Don't know if it wastes too much of the brass stock. Beveling as it cuts. I don't think they're worried about materials. Working on that stuff now, every little bend is necessary. Sure, it looks like fanciful and artistic. No, you're absolutely right. But also the beveling reduces stress risers. That's, I guess the purpose behind it is to make the part stronger. I don't know. Watch fit for the Pope. Not our current Pope. Our current Pope would definitely turn his nose up to that. I say our, but I'm not Catholic. The current Pope. No, the current Pope would be like, this is excessive. The current Pope kind of gives you more Dalai Lama vibes than he does, like, I don't know, Pope vibes. Usually popes are like, you know, pretty bougie with it. TJ, does that watch come with an assistant to hold it, a padded box while I go to the loo? I'm sure it does, yeah. Hoosier, what a way to end the night. Thanks for sharing that. Oh, of course, my pleasure. Ralphie, the box is for holding the manual. Yeah. And back to reality. Yep. Hi. Watch is way too large for anyone to wear comfortably. I mean, I think I could wear it pretty comfortably. Challenge accepted. Probably there's a guy with a huge collection of Pateks to employ a full-time watch repair guy. Yeah. Yeah. CFT, Mr. H4, former Agent 17, confirmed. Agent 17. Wait, Agent 47? Who's Agent 17? Oh, the music's loud. I can go so far just to do the focusing and focusing on both sides, see double. It's sometimes you might notice it to be a bit fatiguing, but you adapt. You for sure adapt. But if you find that it's giving you headaches or nausea or anything like that, take a break, go outside. Try not to focus on anything too close or really anything in general. Just sort of drift. Give yourself a break. Dope, 47. Oh, when I talked about competitive shooting. Okay, it was in high school. 300 hertz mean the second hand moves 300 times per second in this case? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Missed the last hour? Oh, no worries. Lacon Agent 17 is one of Agent 47's predecessors. Personally prefer Agent 86 and Agent 69. Nice. Agent 4. Okay, and then Booby. Okay, yeah, I get you. You wouldn't want the second hand to move 300 times a second. It must be one of the internal gears. I think if we were to have a camera, like a high-speed camera, ooh, this would be cool to send to one of those high-speed camera guys. You would probably end up seeing the second hand ticking. That's my suspicion anyways. Fubar daily wear watch is a Bulova diver. 9-ounce steel weight, feels weird not having it on. Yeah, a lot of people that wear watch daily, when they take it off, they feel kind of naked. That's something that I would hear from customers all the time, like, hey, is my watch done yet? I'm feeling kind of lonely without it. Like, okay, man, get a dog. No, just kidding. It's something I understood. I would wear a watch daily when I was working. Agent 99, easy on the eyes. CFT, maybe you should give out a lump of metal with a wrist strap as a placeholder. Oh, loaner watches. Yeah, sometimes I would give out loaner watches, but only if the customers ask for it. I wouldn't be like, hey, here's a watch. It's not like, you know, going to the dealership to drop your car off and they're like, well, see you later. You're like, no, wait, I drove it here. How do I drive back? It's gonna be here a week. How do I get to work? You realize I forgot to put on your watch and can't go back to get it? Yeah, there were times... Okay, never mind. It's not fair. It's not a fair comparison. I was gonna say, there were times where I forgot mine at home. But then I got to work. Real trip is when I swap out for one of the Vostoks. I meant literally just a watch case. Yeah, just a chunk of, like, something on the wrist. Okay. Yeah, there's a little corrosion there. And a little more on the bottom. Let me show you. and you turn it over. And it's like, okay. It's all that high voltage arcing. That didn't count. Totally didn't count. It's not a part. It's a tool. I think that's why I put it in here. Hey, it cleaned up nicely, chat.
Drop.
Okay. No change in the subject. Okay. Now how about the other one? I think there was a little bit of corrosion on that contact as well. Payne Gretzky, Insulin Regular, and Axis of Entropy. Thank you for the follows. You're welcome. Yeah, this one's a bit crusty. Yeah, both sides. loan them a watch that you're trying to sell. Maybe it'll grow on them. It's a tough one, man. Samwise, thank you for the follow. Let's see if you can see it with this one. You see a little bit, but you really can't see the detail. Yeah. How about the backside? Yeah, pretty crusty. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that'll do. Dang it. Oh, I actually like that. Okay. Hey, pizza. Like night and day. Axis, what does that make some of the watches so valuable? Do they take a lot of time to make by hand? Some are very much handmade, like the video that we watched earlier. But even in that video, you can tell that there is a lot of machinery involved. Some of it automated. But there's varying degrees of automation, there's varying degrees of quality, engineering, materials, exclusivity. Sometimes, you know, they only make a limited run of a specific watch. Sometimes they do something different and they end up like making a mistake at the time. And that ends up causing them to make a limited number of them. Like they don't sell very well. So then they like go back to the regular thing that was selling a lot. And then 20 years later, people are like, oh my God, we need to buy that one. Case in point, Paul Newman's Daytona. The dial that they had used for Paul Newman's Daytona, nobody wanted it at the time. Nobody was buying it. So they're like, well, shoot, I guess we just go back to, you know, Daytonas. No more Paul Newman. No, it wasn't known as Paul Newman's back then. So collectors, it really depends on the buyer of the watch. Maybe they're just looking for something nice on their wrist. Maybe they're just looking for something durable. Maybe they're looking for something very accurate. Maybe they just like the way it looks, you know, that sort of thing. So there's varying degrees of markets and buyers. Usually some of the older watches that are very, very expensive are pretty much catered towards that collector's market. Some people will buy art as a store of value, or a fence, or, you know, a launder, or whatever, you know. I think that some watches are a decent store of value. But it's really tough to say because markets fluctuate all the time. Lose their complexity or quantity usually. That's part of it. Some of it's just status of the brand. Normal retail pricing models apply to watches. TJ, I put a new battery in your Seiko 7T32 30-minute chrono movement. It's easy to slide in place, however, sometimes when I use the chrono, second hand stays ticking at one place until it resets the chrono. Everything else works on the watch and it seems to keep time. Okay, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about when you start the chrono, the second hand isn't actually functioning. It's trying to, but it just won't. But everything else works. Normally what I would do in that scenario is there's special watch magnets, electromagnets, where if you have a stuck hand or you have a quartz movement that, you know, there's a certain issue where the hands aren't quite doing what you want them to, you can put it on this special electromagnet and you can zap it and it vibrates the heck out of all the wheels and it'll try to force the movement to spin. It seems like a very like chaotic, violent thing to do. But a lot of times for a stuck watch, it will unstick it. But not always. Blackstone, the history behind the watch and the movement also affects the value. Yeah. Pizza to have a Omega True Beat for just that reason. Doesn't Corvus have one? Mozart, what I want to know is why used watches cost more than new Rolex watches. The inventory everywhere is non-existent. You know, it's tough to say. Usually it's because of demand. Fine art sounds like a good analogy. Kind of familiar with that market, and it's nutty. Yeah, I mean, the reality of it is watches used to be a necessity, or at least a very nice convenience to have. You know, it's like that boomer saying, you know, it's like, hey, what time is it? Well, time to buy a watch, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah, so I mean, there were different reasons and purposes, and some are still consistent over the years. Sometimes it's status symbol. For some people, they like to show off, you know, what they've got. And for some people, that's the entire reason. There's even some collectors that, you know, are into that for just that reason, and then, you know, over time they start to learn more and more about the different, you know, differences between the models, the differences between the movements, all the little differences in the dials, like the face of the watch. Rolex specifically has a huge following and buyers and collectors markets that people are aware of all those little idiosyncrasies. You know, you'll go to see, like, here, just for example, let's check out Submariner. Or wait, let's look up 6263. Okay, so here, full set Sigma. I don't know what that means. Big red silver. The big red's referring to the Daytona, that it's big and red. Here you've got Panda, Paul, big red Paul Newman, big red Sigma, steel silver. It's just like a lot of times in collector's market, Swiss TT, you know, it's like there's going to be the selling point for some of these is going to be the very specific differences in the dials. Things that they've slightly changed over the years, whether it's just like lettering or if it's just like, you know, little things like that. Like, why is this one priced at almost 3 million, and the rest are in the 100K range? Why is this one over $250,000? You know, okay, you got the gold case. What else? Okay, so if we were to look up Submariner. It'd be nice if we could go vintage, because then you're really gonna see like there's big paragraph. Sometimes there's like a big E on the Rolex. And all of these things are like very important for collectors. Like, this is just a standard 10K Submariner. That's right around baseline average for Submariners. So why is there some then they're, you know, in the 42K range? It says it's called a Cookie Monster. You've got your two-tones, you've got, I was hoping for a little more vintage ones, because that's when they really talk about the, okay, this is the Starbucks one. I don't know what that means, you know? It's a Starbucks. It's got to be because of the ceramic bezel or something, you know? The color of the bezel. So what's the difference between this one at 17K and, you know, one of these right around 10 or 11, you know? Is that bezel really worth $6,000 more to some? Maybe you have all the other ones, you know? Maybe it's Pokemon for you. It's just... You gotta have a special brain, you know? Collectors just have a special brain. That's a bit loud, isn't it? Did I forget to turn it down? Oh no, it's not that bad. It's just a loud song. Hey, Disregarded. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, welcome. How was your stream? Axis, gonna recommend a watch for a private pilot. I mean, I know a lot of pilots are into like Bell and Ross. McBurdo, 1016. Fine art comparison really only works for bespoke handmade watches, yeah. It just stays ticking at the same spot. When I reset the chrono, it starts again. Okay, TJ, there's a setting where you can set the 0 point for the hand. You might need the manual for it, but typically what you do is you pull the crown out, either 1 click or 2 clicks, and then you go to push the chrono buttons. And what you might notice is that your second hands will slightly go one way or the other. Second hand, minute hand, hour hand sometimes. Fiddle with those settings, either 1 click or 2 clicks, and reset your 0 points for all the hands. And then try it again. See if it still is doing the same thing. Pizza, and that's a tiny fraction of the market. It really is. It's a very small aspect of the market. Bespoke watches, that is. Doesn't happen every time, though. Oh, that's weird. Pizza, she does. One of 17 that might exist. Oh, good golly. Mozart, Rolex makes 1 million watches a year. Is that true? Where are they? Do they actually make 1 million watches a year? TJ, I was thinking I have the incorrect battery. Perhaps it's a 395. Need to take it to a watchmaker. What did you put in it? 371? You're probably fine. It's probably just a quirk in your watch. If you're questioning what the battery takes, just look up the movement and you should be able to find the answers online. Rolex is said to have a quarter of the luxury watch market. 1 million watches per year does not go far if it's true. 40 years ago, Rolex was selling Daytonas under retail because no one wanted them. Yeah. No, literally. Like, my dad was telling me about Paul Newman dials, and it was just like, even secondhand market, you know, just a few $100s could get you a Daytona. It's like, wow. Nice to be called special. Yeah, Axis. Look out for Bell and Ross. Look out for Ball, Ball. It really depends on your price range. CFT, I like the look. I never spend this kind of money for a watch. Guess I'm glad some people do, because it would kind of be sad if there was no mechanicals. Yeah, but I'd rather take a vacation or something. No, I hear you. Any one of the German-made Fliegers would be a classic pilot choice. Yeah. Typing's top notch. Well, why do you believe the internet? I don't think they do. It's a lot of watches. I did all that. The watch runs fine. Alarm works. Chrono works. I reset the watch after the battery change on the AC point. I reset the hand's position by pulling out the crown, adjust the second hand. With the chrono pushers, alarm works, chimes, all works except the second hand gets stuck sometimes when I use the chrono function. It's most likely a mechanical issue, because what's happening when the hand is like trying to move but it can't, there's either too much resistance in the pivots or there's some physical impediment stuck in the chrono gear train. Did you test the battery before you put it in? That might be your next best bet. What I would recommend is, when you get the chrono running, leave it running for a while. It's possible that it just sat for too long, and the lubrication needs to work itself out. I see there's always the Blue Angel. Oh no! Citizen. So, if you like a nice titanium watch, check out the Citizen Blue Angel. Axis price range probably a few hundred, roughly 1,000 USD. If you need accuracy, go Quartz, and go with Icy's recommendation. Go with the Citizen. Please excuse the wall of text. Oh, no biggie. Hey, Journey. Hopefully you can only put the battery in one way. Well, I mean, I've seen people do some weird things. Okay, I think... I'm just wondering if this little tab goes on the outside. This is our stop lever. So when you pull the crown out, this will break contact. I got it in the right spot. Okay. Now, our insulator. Okay. Here's that. This thing was really straightforward, I gotta say. Now the question is, will it work now after a service? I do feel like it's more service friendly than in a Bulova. Now, I probably should have put this insulator in before I did that bridge. Let's just see. Woman has dirt in it or ran out of lubrication. Hang on, let me scroll up a little. I think you're correct on the watch being sitting for too long, and I remember it consuming battery fast before stopping. I guess the woman has dirt in it. It could have been a weak battery to begin with. It could have been that running the chronograph with a stuck hand might soak up more juice But it's also possible that, yeah, it could be the lubrication in there is just not up to snuff anymore. I wouldn't think too much about having dirt in it unless the seals were compromised or unless it was like left open for whatever reason. Access, that's more what you're looking for. Seiko Service has a PDF online for your watch. Always has the UTC dial, that's helpful. I see you have a not quite that complicated Citizen Eco drive. That was the one thing I was gonna say about some of the pilot watches out there is sometimes they can be just like way too much. Not price-wise, just like features and functionality, and it's just like you end up with like world timer, like 4 different alarms, like so many different functions and features where it's just like sometimes you just want the time, and you're just like there's just so much there. It's just me, I think. Maybe I just I don't know. I used to love busy dials. I used to really be into that. I thought it was like, it just looked really cool. But then over time, I guess my taste just changed. Maybe also check out a Breitling Navitimer, if that's up your alley. There's also a Seiko... Oh shoot, what is it? I gave my cousin one of those for his wedding. Shoot, what do they call that? Is this Seiko Flightmaster? What is this? Yeah, this is it. Pretty darn close to this. Sorry, flashbang. The buttons screw down as well as the crown, so it was like pretty cool for him because he's jumps in the water a lot. I don't know about this site or anything. I'm not endorsing this. This was just a random Google search. I think it's Seiko Flightmaster. Anyway. Several eco drives. Low mechanical watches, but always on is very convenient. Axis, do they make this not blue and gold? That's the thing about the Blue Angel. They do make something very similar. I would just recommend searching around on their site. actually no idea what a pilot watch would look like. We're flying. Difficult to buy watches for people. Garmin makes GPS watches with maps and everything. It's a bit gimmicky. If you're looking for something similar to a Garmin, check out Suunto. I think it's Suunto. Yeah, Suunto. They make some cool watches, I feel like. Watch with UTC and a stopwatch, and if possible, countdown timer. If it can buzz every 30 minutes to remind me to switch fuel tanks. You might want redundancies for that.